Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the dark, incredibly emotional narrative and the intense psychological layers of A Monster Calls. We're going to be doing a full book summary of this modern classic, tracing the incredible, heartbreaking journey of a young boy facing the unthinkable. It's a story that disguises itself as a supernatural horror, but really, it's actually one of the most profound explorations of human grief ever written. But before we even meet our main character, we have to start with a real-world directive: go, run with it, make trouble. See, the story has a beautifully tragic origin. The original concepts, the characters, the whole premise, they were all sparked by an idea from the late, brilliant author Siobhan Dowd. Tragically, she passed away before she could write it. So author Patrick Ness was handed the baton, along with that single, amazing directive from her notes. He took it and ran with it to finish this profound exploration of grief, bringing us the absolute masterpiece we're unpacking today. Section 1. A Story Born of Grief. To truly understand the immense weight of this explainer and the full scope of this book, we've got to first step into the isolated, terrifying world of 13-year-old Conor O'Malley. Our story kicks off at exactly 12:07 a.m. Conor's mother is suffering from a terminal illness, and the treatments, well, they're failing. And because of this massive, unspoken trauma, every single night, Conor wakes up from this unspeakable, recurring nightmare, one he flat-out refuses to talk about. But then, one night, at exactly 7 minutes past midnight, he looks out his window toward the graveyard behind his house. And the ancient yew tree standing there suddenly begins to transform into something completely unexpected. Suddenly, this wild, towering creature made of wood, leaves, and sap is breathing heavy, compost-smelling air right into Conor's bedroom. But here is the fascinating part. Conor isn't scared, not even a little. He actually looks at the monster and says, "I've seen worse." Why? Because this isn't the monster from his nightmare. It's something else entirely. This ancient yew tree monster announces it has come walking for one very specific reason: to tell Conor 3 tales from when it previously walked the earth. The monster doesn't just offer story time, though. It issues a truly terrifying demand, warning him that stories are the wildest things of all. Stories chase and bite and hunt. In return for these 3 tales, the monster tells Conor that he must tell a 4th story, and this 4th story must be his deepest, most hidden truth, the secret of his nightmare. If Conor fails to tell the truth, the monster promises to eat him alive. Section 2. 3 complicated monster tales. Okay, let's see how this builds, because these 3 tales the monster tells form the structural backbone of the entire book. They perfectly map out the story's core theme, the idea that right and wrong aren't always black and white. What's absolutely brilliant here is how the monster completely dismantles traditional fairy tale tropes to lean hard into moral ambiguity. Just look at the characters from the first 2 tales. You have a wicked queen who is actually a good ruler, and a handsome prince who murders his own bride just to incite a rebellion, yet the people hail him as a savior. Then, you've got an apothecary who seems greedy but is right-thinking, and a seemingly good-hearted parson who gets violently punished by the monster simply because he abandons his faith the second times get tough. So, the crucial point of these tales, perfectly embodied by that murderous prince we just talked about, is really about self-deception. The monster explains that the prince lied to his people, sure, but more importantly, he acted out a whole pantomime to lie to himself. The monster is showing Conor that humans often need to lie to themselves most of all. And obviously this is a direct, sharp reflection of Conor's own internal battle regarding his mother's inevitable death. But wait, these aren't just bedtime stories. During the 2nd and 3rd tales, the monster's violent actions literally, physically manifest in reality. While the monster is destroying the person's house in the story, Conor wakes up from a trance to realize he has completely wrecked his own grandmother's sitting room. Later, in the 3rd tale, the monster beats an invisible man who just wanted to be seen. In reality, Conor brutally beats the school bully Harry and puts him in the hospital. The stories are bleeding right into Conor's waking life. Humans are complicated beasts. The monster is using these tales as an aggressive physical teaching tool. It's literally forcing Conor to see that human beings can hold completely conflicting truths at the exact same time. You can be a good person who does a terrible thing. You can love someone deeply and still want to hurt them. Section 3. The Nightmare's True Meaning. This brings us right to the climax of our full book summary. As his mother's terminal illness rapidly worsens and the hospital treatments completely fail, a desperate Conor finally confronts the yew tree. He demands that it use its legendary healing powers to save her. And here lies the absolute gut punch of the narrative. Conor thought the monster came to heal his mother, but the monster calmly reveals the devastating truth. I did not come to heal her. I came to heal you. The monster wasn't summoned by his mother's illness at all. It was summoned by Conor's own suffocating guilt and isolation. What is the truth Conor is hiding? Well, to finally cure him, the monster plunges Conor directly back into his recurring nightmare. The time for the fourth tale has officially arrived. The monster binds Conor and demands that he answer the ultimate question: what really happens at the end of the dream? In the terrifying landscape of the nightmare, Conor is hanging onto the edge of a cliff. He's gripping his mother's hands with all his strength, as she's being pulled down into a fiery abyss by the real monster of his fears. Now, Conor has always claimed that she was too heavy, that she slipped, that she fell. But the monster forces him to confess the terrifying reality. She didn't fall. Conor intentionally let her go. Broken and sobbing, Conor finally admits his deepest shame. He let her go because he just couldn't stand the waiting anymore. He wanted the excruciating, lonely anticipation of her death to finally be over. He truly believed this selfish thought made him a monster, that he deserved to be punished for wanting his own mother to die just so he could stop hurting. But the monster responds with profound empathy, saying, "You were merely wishing for the end of pain, your own pain, an end to how it isolated you." Section 4, the final healing. Let's see how this devastating confession actually resolves, because this is where the core message of the book truly shines. Instead of the brutal punishment Conor so desperately thought he deserved, the monster offers profound grace. It creates a gentle nest in its hands for the boy. The monster explains that wanting an end to agonizing pain is literally the most normal human wish of all. It reminds him of the tales, right? Humans are complicated beasts. Conor can deeply love his mother and desperately want her to live, while simultaneously wanting the nightmare of her illness to end. Both things are true. Armed with this massive realization and finally released from the prison of his own guilt, Conor returns to his mother's hospital room. The clock reads 11:46 p.m., just minutes before the monster's usual arrival time of 12:07. The yew tree stands quietly outside, its purpose completely fulfilled. Conor is finally able to accept his complex grief. He steps forward, takes his mother's hand, speaks the final truth that he doesn't want her to go, and holds her tightly as she passes. So I leave you with the monster's ultimate lesson. You do not write your life with words. You write it with actions. What you think isn't actually important. It's only important what you do. Conor's dark, exhausted thoughts didn't define him. His loving action of holding his mother at the very end did. It's such a heavy, beautiful reminder for all of us navigating the messy complexities of being human. Our thoughts might be contradictory, confusing, and even dark. But how will you choose to write your life through your actions today?